Hey everybody, Ben here from Cinderblock Studios, and I'm finally back with the acrylic still life project, except I failed at it, and I failed miserably at it. And for the sake of explaining why and how, I'm going to be swearing in this video. Everything's going to be bleeped, but as an FYI, if you're not into that sort of thing, feel free to click away now. So at the beginning of my extended sort of break period, I decided to kind of take the time off and work on an acrylic still life, sort of documenting my process every step of the way, even including some real-time painting tutorials within that. It was a good idea. I think it's still a good idea. I think it could still work, but my approach may have been a little short-sighted. I didn't set things up super well. I couldn't get the camera set up super well, which should have been a pretty big indicator in the first place. But there were also some things in sections of challenge that I kept putting on myself, and I put so many challenges on myself that it ended up kind of being a bit of a problem. The first big challenge was in the objects I chose to use. Now, I will actually release part of these tutorials in terms of how to set up a still life, because that stuff actually turned out really nicely. One thing that I mentioned is that one thing that's really hard to paint in still life is glass. And I was like, you know what, let's paint glass, because I want to torture myself, because I'm a fucking idiot. And so I was like, yeah, let's do glass, just to show how hard it is, but also be like, yeah, you know what, I could probably do this about now. My second biggest issue is I probably picked too many objects. I wanted to do a large variety of stuff. I zoomed out on the composition, and honestly, it was too much. My brain couldn't really wrap my head around everything. I couldn't focus on stuff. I kept looking at different things. And for someone with ADD, that's not really a good idea. And I think the third biggest issue is that in addition to putting myself that far out of my comfort zone with objects, with painting things, is I painted on easel, which I almost never do, and I sat down, which I only do when I'm like really detailing stuff. I painted on a smaller support. I put myself so far out of my level of okay, this is going to work, and I just fell flat on my face. Now, when I say I fell flat on my face, obviously not literally, but it was about a third of the way into the painting. Like, I actually really kind of enjoyed some stuff in it. There's some stuff that I actually want to do again. I was actually partially painting this phone skull that I got when I was in college, and I actually really loved doing the color work and building things up from here up, from like the nose up. When I got to this jawline, which to note, this thing with the teeth is not realistic at all, so that doesn't help. But I elongated it. The skull was too much. By the way, I'm totally embarrassed to show even as far as I got with this painting. It's against the wall with its face to the back, but I will toss a picture of it up over here, just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see that. You can see that the glass got frosty. In the process of trying to do that and trying to narrate, by the way, narrating while painting is really, really fucking hard. You see me do it in live shows a lot, but I'm doing landscapes. I'm comfortable doing landscapes. So when I'm doing something I'm not comfortable with, I can't concentrate, and that's not good. That is really not good. So I got to the glass, and I'm like, I may have messed this up. And I kept turning off on and off an overhead light so I wouldn't screw up the lighting of the still life, which is a good thing to do, but at the same time I was shooting myself in the foot a little bit with my eyes not adjusting right when I'm in the dark, and it was like, wow, this is not turning out. And when I realized I screwed it up, I was like, I can't fix this. I cannot fix this at this point. I am a fucking idiot, and I can't fix it. So even in the video, I was like, I gotta stop. I need a break. I need to get up and do something else. And by the time I came back to it, I was like, you know what? This is a time where I have to scrap it. I have to say no. This didn't work. I want to do it again, maybe in the spring when I've had time to settle. But for the most part, it's like, nope, cut your losses. That's it. Release the videos you've got. But for the most part, I'm not happy with it. And I don't think it would be valuable to any of you to see me struggle that much with the painting. Okay, now I know what some of you were thinking. You probably saw that piece and you're like, man, that's better than I could have done. And not to sound kind of rude about it, but yeah, it probably is. The point is that I'm a professional artist, and if I want to be showing my best work, if I want to be showing an example of some of my best work, I want to be able to actually do that. And if I'm showing something that I have a lot of problems with, if I'm showing a project that I'm really struggling with, while that might be a good learning experience to say, okay, not every project is perfect, and it's not. That's the point of this video. But I can't put that out there as a tutorial when there are that many issues. Like, I basically be teaching stuff that's just fucking wrong. And it's like, well, sorry. I mean, I can't in good conscience do something that the project itself was for you guys. And I failed. And I would rather take the loss of the failure than put something out there that won't help you, and in many ways will give you bad advice. So you would be making the same mistakes. And I don't want that. I want you to actually succeed with your projects and not f*** it up. So where does that leave me? Where does that leave me? What did I learn? What did I take away from this project, despite not doing well? One, I definitely want to do it again. I've realized I'm out of practice, really. I haven't done a still life since college, and then, actually no, the last still life I did was for the Free How to Draw ebook, but that was a pencil drawing. I could afford to make more mistakes because I had an eraser. You don't have an eraser with paint. You can paint over stuff, and I was trying to fix some stuff. Couldn't quite get there. And that's the thing is, especially when you're doing like a still life on a painting, you can rectify little mistakes by painting over them, but large structural mistakes, things that are problems with proportions, if you didn't accomplish that in the sketch, then you're going to have problems in the painting down the road. So it's like if you're trying to paint a figure, but the anatomy's wrong. The old phrase, I believe, is you can't polish a turd. You know, you can't. You can't make it better than the structure underneath is. And that was really my biggest struggle with this, is the structure underneath was wrong. I did so much wrong with it. But again, the setup worked. I'm going to release the videos for the setup, but everything else is not happening. It also made me realize that I can't walk into a project like this and just be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Because apparently I f***ing don't. I didn't know about this. I should have planned this from the very, very first word that came out of my mouth. I didn't have any video outlines, nothing. And it was like, that was a major oversight on my part. I almost always plan videos, especially like big tutorials. I always have a script, and I did not have a script, and that wasn't a good thing. So future Ben, if you're watching this, don't do what you did previously. Make sure you get your shit together, get it all together, put it in a backpack, take it to the shit store, just get your shit together, and don't do this again. So, if nothing else, I think this is like maybe the third video where you guys got to see me fail, and if you'd like to see more of that, hit the like button, get subscribed if you're not already, consider supporting on Patreon, and this has been Cinderblock Studios. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, I'm such a jack.